There we go. Good morning. Welcome to Rethunk Junk. How are you? I'm Diane Pruitt. I am here live at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. We're your authorized Rethunk Junk retailer, one of many across the United States. Now, I look funny right here. It's not that it's dark in here because you can see the lights on. It's that the sun is shining so brightly through that cupola. I had to quickly turn my entire setup around so that it wasn't blinding us. But I have this really great project to show you today. I want you to work with metallics more often. So I want to show you some different ways that you can approach Rethunk Junk metallic paint. Have you ever mixed your Rethunk Junk metallics with any other color? I love doing that. Let me find my sample boards. They're on the back side of my table. I laid them down here because I wanted to show you. Didn't mean to travel so far, and I'm gonna need my glasses. When you come in this morning for the live, say hello, let me know you're here. I'm gonna pop over here onto the Facebook page so I can see you really, really good. Sherry, good morning. How was your walk on the beach today? Really wish today I was there with you. There's no rain, right? I mix metallics. I cover with metallics, and then I sample them out and I mark them and I go, ooh, these would be great for a project. So today I want to focus on this one right here. You see that? You see as I move the board how you get that little bit of metallic sheen to it? Let me move you over into this stunning light. You still get that sheen. You still get that glimmer of metallic. Good morning, Linda. I'm so sorry it's raining. You know what? Get in the car and come down here. The sun is shining. Come to South Carolina and play with metallic paints with me. I sampled this board out for a customer, and I knew I was getting ready to do this live tutorial, and I wanted to share this combination with you. So my favorite one on here is Copper and Midnight. Now I don't just paint and then put the metallics over the top. I'm extra. Y'all know that about me. I take the paint and I mix the copper in with it. Come on, baby, I'll have dinner ready for you when you get here. Let me show you what I do. The first thing, I grab my Measurex. This is my Rethunk Junk measuring cup. It comes with a lid and it comes with hash marks to measure. And you know, sometimes I measure, sometimes I don't. But I always use these to mix my custom colors because I don't want to mix into my paint containers. I don't want to contaminate my colors. I'm very specific about that because when I want to use my colors for another project, I don't want them contaminated with another color. So I use my mixing containers. We carry them here at Two Girls Treasure. You can buy them at Rethunk Junk by Laura online. You can get them from your local retailer. Now you can see it's a little liquidy down there, right? I added some water for two reasons. One, I was at the bottom of a container. I should have added water sooner, but it was a little bit thick, so I added some water after I poured it into my measuring cup. We'll mix this up real well. I have a gallon of Midnight, y'all. I'm obsessive about using my Midnight. I use so much of it that I just buy it by the gallon. You can do that too. There are several different colors of Rethunk Junk paint products that are available in the gallon size. And this is how I keep it mixed up. I just rock it back and forth, shake it side to side. I like to make sure my paints are stirred, shaken, whatever they need to be, so that when I'm ready to use them, They are ready to go because around here, we'll paint at the drop of a hat. So I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna add to what I already have. So right now I'm right over 4 ounces, just under 8. I'm gonna say that's 6. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add all the way up to the 12 ounce mark so that I have enough base of Midnight to do this project. So I'm gonna set it down so I measure straight. We're right at 6 ounces of Midnight. I'm gonna pour this up to 12 with Midnight. There's Midnight, a little bit of water, and now there's more Midnight. All right, that is a good start, right? Now, I have my copper in a cup. We had an incident and we broke a container. So I had to take this and I had to put it in one of my plastic cups so I didn't lose it. And I put it in a plastic bag to keep it covered so that when I was ready to use it, it would be available. Now, Charlotte, if you will, I could use another container of copper, and I could use a stir stick. And there's a stir stick right there on the workbench to your left, bottom shelf. Yes. Perfect. That's the one. It's okay if it's green. I've used it before, mixed a custom green color, and I'm gonna use it again to mix these up because the paint's dry, it's not gonna hurt anything. I do. If you will pass across, let's play toss across with the... I need more copper. There should be another container of copper behind the green wall. I have a green wall. I don't have a green room, I have a green wall. What's your experience with using Rethunk Junk metallic paint? Tell me what you've done with them. Tell me what you want to do. Because I'm the person who will feed your wildest dreams about what you can paint with Rethunk Junk. I'm going to dump this copper into this container. Now, because it's been in a cup, it's a little thick too. So I'm going to use my stick. I'm going to pull it down. I'm not going to add any more water to this because it already has enough in it. I put some warm water in only because I was washing paintbrushes this morning, and we have a lot of different projects going on right now at Two Girls Treasure. We do a lot of custom work, so I have all my work tables covered except for the one I just did with the brand new countertop paint. That's a whole other story. Check the Rethunk Junk main page for the original tutorial on using the Rethunk Junk RTJ Finishes countertop and backsplash paint. I have some photographs. We have some tutorial videos that we're editing right now. That's a job. When you want to paint and you have to edit video, it's tough. It's a tough life because all I want to do is play with more paint. Now Charlotte's got me some more copper. She's been shaking it. I am now up to, let's see, I'm up to, put my glasses on, 16 ounces, and I need to be at 24 because I carried my Midnight up to 12. I want this to be a 1-to-1 ratio, and if I need more, I'll give it a good pop. Pray that I don't break the lid because I always break the lid. There we go. I didn't break the lid. You did your first on your desk. Yup. Linda, I think that's wonderful. It took me a little while to learn that you can really enhance the color of any one of the Rethunk Junk paint colors by adding a metallic to it. And guess what? When you add it 1-to-1, add it a little stronger if you want to. You still get the metallic color that you're looking for. You get a new color, and this one I'm in love with because it's almost bronze. I'm a scraper, So I've got a paintbrush out because I am not going to let a drop of this paint get away from me. And I can't, because the sunlight's so blinding right behind me, I can't show you me scraping this jar and putting this in the container. But I'll show you it mixing. Hang on, I can show you that. Char, I think I'm gonna need just a little bit more copper. I use copper a lot, y'all. I am just so overwhelmed and thankful that Laura and Tom produced this color metallic. It is wonderful. Such a great and yummy color to work with. Let me come over here and see if I can get right up under the camera and stir this without spilling. Now you can see the strains of copper, but you want to stir really, really well to get that bronzy finish, right? Because you want it to look superb. I have more copper behind the green wall. That's okay, this is my last copper, y'all. My last one. Oh, I'm talking to the wrong camera. Boop, boop. Look at that Crazy Lane cedar chest. That is such a 1960s piece of furniture. It's so plain, it's dingy. Char, if you want to, you can grab the prep and the rag on top of it, and you can start scrubbing that thing down, because we're going to full on paint this in a beautiful metallic mix. Charlotte's gonna help out. And we are open for business at Two Girls Treasure, so make sure if you're local or if you want a good road trip, Linda, come on by and see us. We love to have company, and I absolutely love to teach Rethunk Junk Paint. So now I have all that I need. I'm gonna step over here right in front of Charlotte. We're gonna mix this up. And when I mix my color base and my metallic, I mix it really well. I don't want just strains of color. I want to create a whole new color. So I have my midnight base and I have my copper, and this is turning so rich bronze. Look at that. Can you see the metallic in that? You will, I promise. By the time I'm finished painting, you'll see everything you want to know, everything you want to see, and you can imagine about painting metallics with Rethunk Junk. Create your own color. I have a color palette wheel that I use, and I love to sample colors out. So a lot of times I'll just take one metallic and several colors, or one color and several different metallics. You use gold over semi-sweet? Yes. And see, I like the look of the paint over a color. Where'd I set my samples? Right here. But there's a difference. No, that's one. It's right here in front of my face. There's a distinct difference, and I'll show you. The color over right here, that's the metallic over the paint. This is the metallic mixed in. So there's a big difference there. This is much brighter, and I like that. This is much richer, and I really like that too. So it depends on what you want to accomplish when you paint as to what you mix together or what you paint one over the top. Good morning, y'all. How are you? So we're doing a live tutorial. Y'all are welcome to join us. We're gonna mix some Rethunk Junk paint with Rethunk Junk metallics, and we're gonna paint this 1960s Lane cedar chest, and it's gonna be bronze metallic. All right, I don't usually get the chance to have a live audience when I'm painting, so it's really cool today. All right, we're mixed up. This is so cool. Let me get this on this piece of furniture. Shar, you got it ready?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go solo right there. I'm gonna grab one of my amazing 2-inch Wooster shortcuts because we've got a lot of surface to cover. I'm gonna open this lid, and we need to set a rag or a block or something in here to keep this lid from closing. Perfect. Nothing like a sanding block when you need one. All right. Oh, in the sunlight, that is amazing. Let's get this on there. I'm not gonna overpaint it because I can always come back and do a second coat. This has a little bit of architecture, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fill in around those edges. I do that first so I don't encounter the drips and runs, and I only want a nice first coat. I don't need a full coverage coat. Now, one of the things I love and I've learned about metallic painting is this. Brush it in one direction. It is metallic, so if you brush it one way and then brush it back the other, you're gonna streak the metallics back and forth. It's kind of like those shirts you see with the sequins. If you brush it one way, the sequins look one color. If you brush it the other way, the sequins look a completely different color. Now, you might find a better way to do this, but this is the way I have found to make my metallics look amazing. Brush your metallics on in one direction so that you don't negate the metallic in the paint. You see the sparkle behind me? I can't wait to get this on this trunk. Good morning, Amy. I'm so glad to see you. Loretta. Ooh, 4 vintage pieces today with a sweater on, girl. I'm so sorry it's cold and rainy. I'll tell you the same. Jump in the car, girl, and come here. It's going to be nice and warm, but we are going to have rain tomorrow, and I think you're sending it from Texas. So come on over, y'all. Let's paint some Rethunk Junk projects. 4 pieces of furniture. I'm going to paint one, and then I'm going to have a day here at Two Girls Treasure like no other. We're going to have a fabulous sales day here, and we're going to show our Rethunk Junk paint products off. We're going to have some fun today. It's Saturday and the sun's shining, and we get to paint things. Charlotte, thank you so much for doing the prep work. Charlotte's learning how to paint with Rethunk Junk, and she is awesome in store. Come see her anytime if you need to know anything about the paint. She's learning. She's learning. Mel's off today, so we have no adult supervision. Come on by, we can do whatever we want. But today we're gonna show you how this turns out when you put your Rethunk Junk metallics with your Rethunk Junk paint, and just dream the finishes that you can do. I'm gonna go ahead and do these legs. We've had days and days and days of clouds, and the day I want you to really get a feel for the metallic, the sun's gonna blind us. Let's turn this around to the end, and let's get the side of this. You are just fine. No, come on in the store. All right. Yep, we're on the end now. I'm gonna move my water bottle because I don't think I'm gonna need it. Let's get a good coat on this end, brushing in one direction so that your metallics really shine and sparkle. Watch your edges and your ridges always. Nice, smooth, even strokes. Don't overwork your Rethunk Junk paint. You don't have to. I'm old school, and we were always taught, keep brushing it till you get it smooth. You know what? Don't do that anymore. Don't kill yourself to paint something beautiful. Just get the paint on there, smooth it, and let it dry. Once it's dry, go again. It'll be just fine. Good morning. All right. There we go.
Somebody else supposed to bring their table and chairs for y'all work.
Oh yeah, you are early. All right, Shar, if you want, just set them on the front porch. We weren't expecting you till noon. Now you know what? I don't want to paint the back of this, and I'll show you why. The sides are veneer, but the back of this is solid cedar. I'm not going to paint over this. I'm going to leave this alone so that you always know this is a beautiful serial numbered Lane cedar chest. So let's get the other end of this. And right back around. I'm going to turn the fan on. That way we can get it a little bit more dry. Let's bring this in, and we will dry the front of that in no time at all. A little bit more of the metallic paint here. Here we go. Nice, smooth, even strokes all the way across. Sharp, put it on the front porch, baby. Not inside, outside. There we go. And I got just a little bit on the back. All I need to do is take my damp cleaning rag and wipe it off, because I don't want the paint on the back, because that is solid cedar. These sides are 1960s veneer. We're not hurting anything in the world by painting this. We're not painting the cedar, we're painting the veneer over the cedar. And this smells amazing. I love the smell of cedar wood. There we go. This is gonna make such an amazing beach trunk for linens at the beach house, or blankets, beach blankets. And it's gonna have such a beautiful shimmer and sparkle to it. The paint is just the start of what this Lane cedar trunk is gonna live for the next 100 years. Get down here under this edge, get this base. We are almost done with our first coat of paint. There we go. Boom. All right. Got to do the top too. Are you starting to see that little sparkle and shimmer when the sun comes down? Angie, good morning. Amy, this is midnight. This is 12 ounces of midnight and 12 ounces of copper. It makes such a beautiful bronze finish. Oh, I wish you could see the top of this in this sunlight. Can you see that? Not yet. Give me a minute and I'll show you. Let's get some of this paint on here. All right. Charlotte, thank you, darling. Oh, look at that. I'm going to bring the table over to you because this is beautiful. You can mix any color of Rethunk Junk paint and any color metallic. You can't see it, can you? Oh, the sun in here makes such a difference. I wish you could see this in person, but I promise I will take some amazing lighted pictures, and you'll love this. You'll absolutely love this. Any color you want. One of my favorites, especially for spring, summer, is peacock feather and silver. What metallics and paint have you mixed? And it's a completely different thing than just base coating and then painting over. I didn't hear anything shatter, so there's no panic involved there. None whatsoever. But those are melamine and they will break. There we go. Nice, smooth, even strokes. One direction with the metallics is usually how I finish my pieces. That way my metallic lines are smooth and even, and the metallics shine the same way everywhere you look on the piece of furniture. Rethunk Junk Midnight and Rethunk Junk Copper Metallic make an amazing bronze. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, so if you don't need as much as I mix a little bit less. If you don't have one of the Rethunk Junk mixing cups, it's hard to measure if you're not using, I'm so calm, you know, no reason to panic, Amy. I only panic when the paint spills. I think that's the only time I ever panic. But the metallic line are amazing colors all on their own. I usually do base coat. Amy, I know you do too. But I absolutely adore mixing the colors and creating my own metallics. And the thing is, these metallics are water-based just like the paint, so you can mix anything together. Sample them out. It doesn't have to be a perfect ratio. All you have to do is put the colors together that you imagine would look good together. And then if they do look good together, well, you've done something. Share it with the group. We love to learn from each other. Now, always watch your ridges and edges. I've got this propped up. Metallics are heavy. Warning, metallics are heavier than regular paint. So if you're painting with metallics, I always say check your ridges and your edges. But if you're using metallic, you have to understand that paint will sag because it's heavy. So if you are finished painting a panel, move on, go all the way around, but go back and check your ridges and your edges. You don't want sagging paint. You don't want drips and runs. You want a nice, smooth, clean finish, and you can get that with Rethunk Junk paint. You just want to make sure as you're going, check your ridges and your edges. I'll show you how I do that the best way. I take a damp paintbrush, and as I go around, if there's a drip or a run, the wet paintbrush will smooth it out. A dry paintbrush will drag it. Make sure you smooth it in the same direction that you painted, because you don't want to negate the way you put your metallics on. Now, I could be wrong about this, but it's what I have found that works for us. This is the way I teach it, and this is the way I use it. I could be wrong. I could be totally off base, but I've painted some really cool metallic pieces, and they tend to turn out pretty neat. A little bit of a run right there. I've got some hanging down on the bottom, and I missed that spot. I'm gonna flip this around. We did not paint the back side. I've got a drip right here. Always check your ridges and your edges. You don't want drips and runs, and when you're painting with metallics, you don't want sagging paint. Look at that. Can you see the sparkle and the shimmer in the sunlight now? And what a difference that's making. That is only one coat of paint, and I'm gonna spritz this because I know it's starting to dry. If your paint is starting to dry and you notice a drip, don't grab it. Spritz it, wet your brush, and then gently move it. If you grab it, you'll pull your paint apart, and then you'll have a mess. Don't grab your paint, gently mist it, gently cover over it. Just gently. And Amy, this is probably why I'm so calm. I absolutely love my painting time. It keeps my soul happy. How about y'all? Do you get enough paint time? This is like the best therapy in the world. I adore the opportunity to paint a piece of furniture and make it beautiful again. And nobody, and I mean nobody, loves this trunk. So I hope by the time I'm finished, everybody will love this trunk and somebody will take it, because if I take this to the beach house, well, it's just going to be another piece of furniture. I think I have a lot of pieces of furniture in my world. This is still a little damp. I've got the fan on it. I don't want to pull my paint. Let me grab my second fan over here. I didn't put too much paint on, but it is warm today. And it is a little humid because you're sending that rain from Texas, and we're just going to end up with it, aren't we? That's exactly what's going to happen. Good morning, Weathered Nest. Thank you for being here. Yes, it's definitely therapy. One of the most important things about paint therapy, thank you, Amy, is the fact that with Rethunk Junk paints, you don't have to sand, you don't have to prime, and you definitely don't need to wax anything. So you get to spend the time you want working on the pieces of furniture. It's not really therapy if you have to beat yourself up to get it ready, now is it? But I love this combination of paint and metallic, and I love my Rethunk Junk paints. I'm saving the world one piece of furniture at a time. This has got to dry, and even though I've got the fans on overhead and I've got the fans on it, we're going to have to actually stand here and watch paint dry for a minute. So tell me, Linda said she's done some projects with metallics, and I know we've got some more people on by now. What are your favorite metallic colors? What's your favorite piece of furniture? And have you ever mixed your metallics with your paint? Not painted over, but mixed them up. Have you ever done that? It's simple and easy. If you weren't here for the beginning, let me show you. I took my Rethunk Junk mixing container. It has a lid so that when I get done with this piece of furniture or in between coats, if I get busy, I can cap it and I can keep my paint good. And God knows these don't stick as bad as the containers do, and I'm the worst about wiping them off. But you have hash marks on the side. You even have more hash marks on this side. So you can measure how much paint you're mixing. I mixed 12 ounces of Midnight and 12 ounces of copper. I had a little bit of water in there, probably 2, maybe 3 tablespoons, because I was down to the bottom of a container of Midnight. It was a little bit thick, so I added some warm water to it. I stirred that all really well with my wooden stir stick, because you want to make sure you stir all of the color and all of the water together. You don't want that water separating, because then you don't get the full product. You get a little bit of water. Now, spraying water on and this being watery, that's 2 different things completely. Make sure your product is stirred and shaken well. Clearly you can't shake this up, but you can take your wooden spoon, you can stir this very well, make sure everything is blended, stir in different directions, back and forth, get that product pulled together. Let me show you on the top side right here. Look at that amazing metallic finish right there. Now you can see the trunk. The sun is moving quickly today, and you're beginning to see the color on that trunk. Let's get back around here to the front side. Let me tell you something else that I learned from my precious husband, who has done automotive refinishing for 10 Forevers. When you get ready to check your paint to see if it's dry, don't stick your hand on it. Take the back of your hand and gently touch it. Why would we do that? Because my fingers are gonna leave a mark. And if it's still tacky, That's what's going in the paint, and it's gonna be there for 10 forevers, and if they ever need to identify you, they can go buy your furniture. But if you take the back of your hand and you check to see if the paint is still tacky, you're not gonna leave any marks. The back of your hand doesn't leave an impression. If you get paint on the back of your hand, it'll wash off, it'll be okay. But I can touch this trunk with the back of my hand all over, and I'm not gonna leave any marks. My fingers, they're gonna leave marks. So when you're testing your paint to see if it's dry, use the back of your hand, not your fingertips. Let's go again. This is nice and dry. I'm touching it now, but it's nice and dry on the front side. I'm gonna get my mister bottle out because at this point, I'm just obsessed with doing it this way. It helps to smooth my finishes, and I brush everything. I don't spray anything. I brush it all because I'm standing right here in the middle of my store in front of God and everybody painting this. So I'm gonna use my brush, and I'm going to use, I did see that, Amy, and it's beautiful. Semi-sweet and gold, yes. I love that combination. I just happened to catch hold of the black, the midnight with the copper, and I've got a plan for this. Two things you can do. One, if you want a smooth finish with your metallics, you can always seal it with Tough Top first. Tough Top causes the metallics to glide across your surface perfectly. Because this is a veneer, I had sort of a smooth finish to work with from the get-go. But if I was doing a different piece of furniture, I probably would Tough Top it first. That way, my metallics glide on glass. That way I get a nice smooth finish. Even though this is a smoother piece of furniture, I am always walking around with a paintbrush in my right hand and my mister bottle in my left hand. So you can do it either way. My fan is blowing my water back across everything, so if you're in the path and I'm misting you, it's kind of like running through the water hose in the summertime. Sorry, not sorry. Let's play today. All right, I'm gonna touch just around the lock mechanism, and I'm gonna shore up the drips and runs. We're gonna go ahead and put our second coat on this, and it is going to look so pretty. I'm gonna do my edge right here, clean up around my architecture. I can grab a smaller brush and go behind that in a little while. Or as I'm going, you know, I can do that too. I'm a sensible girl. Let me get my small brush out. A small brush helps you. When you have architecture and you paint with a big brush, you risk that groove right beside it having a lot of buildup. If you don't want a lot of buildup and you brush this way, then you build up, and then you brush back this way, and then you build up in the other direction, and then you create a line you don't want. Grab one of your smaller brushes, make sure it's damp, set your big brush down, and then just smooth that line of architecture with your smaller brush. It's easy to do, and once you're finished, that'll be nice and smooth. You won't see a thing. I'm gonna come down this line right here, so that that groove line is filled in nicely, and I don't have any drips and runs. Metallics are heavy. They will sag. It's not so much a run as it is the weight of the metallics will just sag your paint. So grab some more paint and go on the finish on the top. I'm gonna add some more water here. It dried while I was running my mouth. There we go. Right in the between and underneath. A good second coat. And I think that's all it's gonna need, y'all. Maybe a little bit of touch up as we're going. But I think 2 coats of our bronze, which is equal parts of midnight and copper, has such good coverage. I think we're only going to need 2 coats and maybe a little bit of touch-up. Here we go. All the way across that bottom edge. We've already done the top edge. We did this section. I've got a run and a sag right here. I'm going to clean it up as I go. A little bit of a sag right here. I'm going to clean that up. Clean my bottom edge up. We've got a little panel right here. So we're going to fill that panel in. I love a piece with architecture to it, but boy, it can be cumbersome when you're trying to do a smooth painted finish. Take your time. Don't get in a hurry. Give yourself the room to create it. You don't have to sand. And you don't have to prime, so you have that extra time to spend. Spend it well. Spend it taking your time to put that paint on nice and smooth and even. I'm going to catch the underside of these legs too. You like that color? Thank you.
I like that.
This is Rethunk Junk Midnight and Copper Metallic. Equal parts.
Like that loaded green almost.
Yep, it does. It's got a bronzy finish.
Yeah.
The light's killing us this morning coming through that cupola. A little bit of water helps it go on nice and smooth. And when you paint your metallics, you make sure you go one direction so you keep that shimmer that you want when you're painting your metallics. Keep it smooth and even and you will have a beautiful metallic finish at the end. One direction, straight lines. A little bit of water helps this action. I love my 2-inch Wooster. It does some surface finishing. Look at that. I'm going to grab these legs underneath. There we go. There we go. All right. Look at that. We're going to flip around to the other side. What you think, Char? I'm going to turn it all the way around. Move my paint. Grab the spray bottle. And as I turn it, it'll put this front side in the fan. I'm loving it.
It looks a little green.
That's what she was just saying. It has that loading green finish to it. But it's okay.
It looks good that way.
It's going to be shiny and sparkly, and you know I love that. And there's no glitter involved. Glitter is the devil. Metallics. Metallics are heavenly. All right. Almost finished with the body of it. We can do another coat on the top. I'm spilling paint everywhere. Loaded the brush a little too heavy. Thank goodness I'm on one of my old tables with my butcher paper on it and not on my brand new Rethunk Junk countertop paint table, which is curing for 30 days and we're not touching it. We're not touching it. We're gonna let that cure because we're gonna stress test that table as hard as we can. But we're gonna let it cure first. Because in 30 days, this is what we're gonna be doing on top of that table. We're gonna be painting on it. We're gonna be working on furniture on it. We're gonna be refinishing. We're gonna be doing all the things on that surface and we're gonna test it so that you don't have to. So you'll know how awesome that paint is. It is pretty amazing. All right, let's hit this top. I'm gonna spray it just a little bit. And I know I'm spraying extra, it's because the fan's blowing it. It is, it's like playing in the water fountain out in the front yard on a windy day. But that fan will dry this paint so quickly that we'll get to see the results of painting this trunk in like 15 minutes instead of hours and hours. I love that about Rethunk Junk Paint products. 15-20 minutes with a fan on it. Oh, I know, right? We're not talking about glitter. Metallics. There's 15 people in an office, Amy. One person's using glitter. How many people have glitter all over them? Laura and the babies. Laura and all the babies and everyone in the shipping department. And Tom and Megan and Nick and everybody at Rethunk Junk. When Laura's using glitter, everybody's using glitter. Everybody's wearing glitter. Let's eat you back down just a little bit. The color is stunning. The finish is going to be so smooth and amazing. And I hope that you are ready to spend your Saturday with a paintbrush and that it involves metallics. Because I love the finish of a metallic piece. I love all the different things you can do once you have the metallic base down. I have some other projects I'm working on, but I swear this is going to be on my list of things that will get dolled up in the next few weeks. Now I'm stopping short because I've got a lot of material and moisture, and I don't want to run it over the sides. I want to use it carefully. Just brush in straight lines. When you brush in straight lines, you get a really smooth finish with Rethunk Junk paint. I rarely get brush strokes because I don't overwork it. I just put the product on and let the paint do its job. Even the metals, even the resin metals will lay down if you just let them. Don't overwork your paint. Whether it's the metallics, the colors, the tough top, the washes, the countertop paint, no matter what Rethunk Junk paint product you're using, don't overwork it. Let it do its job. It will. It was hired for a specific job. It has one job: to be fabulous. Let it do its job. There's the top. I'm going to go around the edges. I'm going to put a good cover on the edges. Oh, I'm loving this, y'all. I can see as it's drying, I've got a couple of touch-up spots on the front, but it's right around the architecture, so that's not a big problem. Not a big problem at all. So there we go. And this is gonna look so cool. 2 full coats of Rethunk Junk mixed metallic on a 1960s cedar trunk that nobody in the world loves. Now, besides putting me in trouble with Laura for saying that glitter is the devil, what questions do you have about using your metallic paints? What do you need to know? What do you dream about doing with your metallics? Drop your questions in the comments. We'll be here all day. I'm here till 6 o'clock. And if you ask me at midnight, I'll probably answer you at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's my sleep schedule, y'all. But I will get back to you. Amy will get back to you. Rochelle will get back to you. And Laura's going to come in and hear that I said glitter is the devil. And I'm going to get in trouble. It'll be okay. Thank you so much for joining me and spending your time this morning on the Rethunk Junk main page, learning about mixing your Rethunk Junk paint with your Rethunk Junk resin metals. This particular color was created using 12 ounces of midnight and 12 ounces of copper. Choose your colors, sample them out on a paper plate, and then mix your new metallic and share it with us on the Q&A page and in the Creating with RTJ Paint Co page. Let us know what you experimented with and what you came up with. It's all a wonderful experiment, and love it when you share. I'm Dianne Pruitt. I'm here at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. I'm absolutely obsessed with my Rethunk Junk paint products, and I hope you are too. I look forward to seeing you again for another tutorial real soon. Y'all have an amazing Saturday. Thanks for being here.